Dr. Peter Jensen is an international authority on high performance. He shares his powerful insights on leadership and personal performance through dynamic presentations that draw on both the elite sport and corporate worlds. Peter's engaging and humorous style ensures that learning comes as a byproduct of having fun.
See, many years ago, our organizations were very much like the game of football, and I'm going to use a metaphor, and I'm going to temporarily demote you to a male. In football, we have men, because the game is played by men. Women only get stuck in supportive roles, as they did in industry for many, many years. Now, in football, these men are standing around in the field. What are they waiting for? Help me out. What are they waiting for? Not the ball. Someone to call the play. Or as a woman said the other day, direction. They're men. Okay? So they're waiting for direction. Now, direction comes in one of three ways. Sometimes the quarterback, the leader on the field, has an actual speaker installed in his helmet. And he hears the coach say, call this play. In another instance, he turns to the sidelines and looks, and a series of hand signals, semaphore, tell him what to do. In a third instance, someone trots in and replaces someone and says, here's what the coach wants us to do. Now, do we want any creativity out of Corey here? Do we want Corey thinking out of the box? Do we want Corey saying, whoa, just a minute. I got a heck of a lot better idea than that. I mean, are they totally out of touch at headquarters with what we're doing out here on the field? No, I want him to do it the way it's diagrammed. See, football is about doing things right. There's centralized decision-making, very little flexibility, and very, very clearly defined roles. This is your job. This is the whole nature of it. It's very simplistic. Right? Now, the play's over. No one knows what we're doing next. Nobody. Okay? This is information on a need-to-know basis. And by the way, it also has something else we used to have. Time. Long planning periods, short action period. Lots of planning, then we act again. You see, this game is about doing things right. We film people. We sit them down on Monday morning. We show them everywhere they made mistakes. We don't play this game anymore. We play a game like basketball. And in basketball, which has always been played by men and women ever since its invention, you get the very best people you can get. But the roles are constantly changing. Who makes the decisions in basketball? Who makes the decisions? People on the court. The players make the decisions. Hopefully within the confines of our strategy. Here, we need people committed to two things. Being the very best that they can be and to carrying out our strategy. You see, here, information is power over people. I release it on a need-to-know basis. Here, I have to push information right down to the floor because you can't play the game without the information.
Peter is a top-rated instructor at Canada's Queen's School of Business, where he teaches in 6 executive education and degree programs, including the Queen's MBA, ranked the #1 MBA outside of the United States in 2004 by Business Week magazine.
Robert Fritz, the musician and composer, captured this beautifully. He talked about the roads in Boston. He said, if you go to Boston, you find the roads go everywhere. And that's because they were designed by cattle. You know, hundreds of years ago, cattle walked the hills that were to become Boston. And in grazing on the terrain, cattle always take the path of least resistance, the easiest way. And so the cattle paths became the trails, and the dirt roads and the gravel roads, and a few of them got paved and became the streets of Boston. And he said, you know, the only way to change what's on the surface, the roads, you have to first go underneath and change the supporting structure. If you don't blast out the hill, if you don't fill in the valley, then the easiest path stays right where it always has been. He said, we're the same way. The only way to change what we do out here in the world, our behaviors, in this instance, our coaching and leadership behaviors, is first of all go inside and change the beliefs that support the behaviors. If you don't change the beliefs, you can't change the behaviors.
Last time we saw him, he just made us realize that we are going to the Olympics. Because we're in it every day, and we talk about it every day. It seems like, okay, I'm going to the Olympics. It's just like, okay, I'm going to the grocery store finally. And sometimes we forget. And not only to say it, but to feel it inside. And it was so good. Like, he finished to speak, and we all had goosebumps, and I had tears in my eyes, and we just look at each other and it's like, we're going to the Olympics.
Peter's involvement with elite-level sport has been long and diverse. He has been to 5 Olympic Games with the Canadian team and has helped 20 Olympic medalists, as well as numerous professional and world-class athletes, perform at their best under intense pressure. In the athletic arena, where success is often fleeting, Peter has been a constant. Peter's sports experience makes his speeches highly memorable, as he draws on a wealth of relevant and exciting stories to make his concepts real.
For 10 years, I had a tennis school in Toronto called the Toronto Tennis School. And one of the things that you say a lot of when you teach tennis is, watch the ball, watch the ball, watch the ball. And I had the good fortune to attend a clinic with Timothy Galloway, who wrote many years ago a book called The Inner Game of Tennis, and I changed forever how I taught tennis as a result of that workshop. Instead of telling people to watch the ball, I started asking questions about the ball. Questions like this. How high is the ball as it's coming over the net? What type of ball are you hitting? Look at the balls here. We got Slazengers, we got Dunlops. Yellow, the kind you're hitting. Which way is the ball spinning when it hits the ground? Is it coming towards you? We call that topspin. If it's backing up, we call it backspin. Can you see the fuzz of the tennis ball penetrating the strings of your racket as you strike the ball? What do you have to do to answer these questions? You have to watch the ball in a way you have never watched balls before in your life. It is not the command, watch the ball, that focuses the attention. It's the question.
Peter has appeared on CBC, CBS, ABC, and CTV to discuss both sports and business-related issues.
Sports psychology has done the opposite. It's gone to the opposite end of the continuum. It said, what have elite performers done on the inside to perform so well on the outside? And by examining the mindsets of these people, we have learned a ton. And not just in sport, by the way. There are exceptional cancer patients. There are people who have a tremendous ability to harness their inner resources, who have greater resiliency. And in examining what these people do and transferring those to sport, we've learned a ton. And the other thing about sport, because these are really lifetime skills, the other thing about sport is it's the perfect laboratory, because everything is so easily measured. You know, the high jumper can tell you to 2 centimeters how her day is going. Like, we don't have that kind of clarity in life. And so when I make an intervention and an athlete tries it out, we know right away whether it worked or not and whether it might be of benefit to other people.
Peter has been widely quoted in an array of print media. He is the author of the best-selling book, The Inside Edge, as well as several audio programs on coaching and personal high performance. He is also the founder of Performance Coaching Incorporated, one of Canada's most highly respected corporate training firms. Peter's speeches and seminars have helped many of the world's biggest and best-run companies across numerous sectors. In fact, 13 Fortune 100 companies have benefited from Peter's expertise.
Peter made an invaluable contribution to our conference. His teachings and his manner of teaching created a deep impression on the participants, all of whom are leaders within their own organizations.
The most critical aspect of my Olympic success was my work with Peter.
Peter is a unique presenter, able to entertain, teach, and inspire simultaneously. His quick wit and keen sense of humor complement an amazing wealth of practical knowledge.
Coaches have an incredibly strong developmental bias. They want to make other people better, and they can't help themselves. It's the way they are as human beings. And it is so strong in good coaches, it often reaches the point of almost ridiculousness. You see, I had some managers that did not want me to be as good as they are. I never had a coach that didn't want me to be better. See, coaching is about personal contact. It's about the awesome power of personal attention. I think one of the reasons that coaching is emerging as the dominant management style right now is because of the technological walls that we are building between people. The email, the voicemail, etc. I think people are thirsting for face-to-face contact, and that's where things happen. The fact of the matter is, people want to know how much you care before they care how much you know.
Peter consistently leaves audiences inspired and eager to use what they have learned. His depth of understanding of human performance and the humorous, exciting, and accessible way in which he speaks ensures that your event will be both relevant and memorable. To book Dr. Peter Jensen, contact the agency that gave you this tape.
Thank you. Merci.